Hey everybody, it is Matty here with Altcoin Buzz. Hope you're doing well on this Friday and that you're all set for your weekend, which is just about here. So here's the snapshot of the market today. Things are more or less flat, down ever so slightly versus yesterday, but we're still sitting at about $175 billion. So in my opinion, we haven't seen this tracement that I was at least expecting personally. So like I said, things are kind of flat with the exception of Ripple that is up 6.5% on the day. That seems to be bucking the trend here. Now today, everybody, is the day that we're announcing the winners of the Doharis Sir Ether Night Shard giveaway. I record my videos pretty early though in the morning, so at the time of this recording, we don't have the list. Expect to see them in an article that we publish later in the day. We're talking today about news out of the EU and a new international association that is being launched. We are talking about Ripple and how their CTO is distancing themselves from XRP, specifically talking about how they don't control it. Ripple's surge of 12% at the time of this article's publication is going to be discussed. We'll also take a look at the fact that their stability, which is relatively true for a crypto, is quite attractive for certain governments and financial institutions. We'll have a quick look at Bitcoin versus Litecoin and how Bitcoin, in one author's opinion, could surpass Visa, Mastercard, PayPal in 10 years. But let's begin here on altcoinbuzz.io with this article by Robert. Bitcoin at one point over the last 24 hours lost about 10%. So should you worry? Bitcoin is having some bearish momentum after surging roughly 30% in 1 week. Is this something we should worry about? We've seen bullish and bearish news in the past hours, predictions such as $50,000, which we talked about yesterday in the long term, and much more. But where is Bitcoin going after this 10% drop? Should we worry? Well, we should remember that we have support at $4,600 and then below that at $4,185. Let's call it $4,200. Resistance right now on the way up is going to really present itself at $6,660. Current price at the moment of writing the article on CoinGecko is $4,840. Monthly and weekly RSI indicate that we are on the rise, which means Bitcoin wants to go to the overbought area, but for now, it failed to test the weak resistance of 5,600 by getting rejected on the 9 monthly EMA. On the weekly chart, we can see the TD count is on the 9th candle, which indicates a correction may take place soon. This is a strong indicator, and the correction should be pretty big. None of this is financial advice, guys. As you know, that's always our caveat that we issue. But I am somewhat, even from a non-TA perspective here, I'm somewhat in agreement with Robert because, what goes up must come down ultimately. And over the long term, I think things are going to go up really substantially. But we've had this very sudden, very abrupt shift, upswing really in price. And I wouldn't be surprised if at one point, maybe it's this week, maybe it's next week, we correct in one form or another. If you're interested in learning more about Robert's take on the markets and the analysis of the charts, take a look at the article in full and see what he thinks is going to happen. Leave your perspective and your opinions in the comments below. And now in this article from today by Dan on altcoinbuzz.io, EU Commission launches the International Association of Trusted Blockchain Applications, the INATBA. On the 3rd of April, the EU made history by pledging to support the adoption of blockchain and distributed ledger through the creation of the INATBA. So INATBA brought together 105 organizations who all want to promote the regulatory and business reforms needed to trigger widespread adoption of blockchain. They aim to provide support for distributed ledger technology and enable it to be mainstreamed and scaled up across multiple sectors. Politicians, corporations, and a wide range of blockchain startups all signed the charter that was then officially hashed onto the IOTA blockchain. Cryptocurrencies were well represented amongst the founding members, with Julie Maupin from IOTA taking a place on the board. Other cryptocurrencies present as founding members also included Ripple, Cardano, Unibright, Quant Network, and Medana. There were also several big names from the world of banking, Barclays, BBV, as well-known names such as IBM, SAP, and Telefonica. A full list of the founding members can be linked to through the EU website. So as Dan writes, this is a big step for blockchain. It seems like the regulators are finally starting to make progress with the still relatively new technologies of cryptocurrency and blockchain in general. Considering this news from the EU, as well as the recent news from the SEC and China regarding regulations in those regions, it looks like 2019 may be the year that blockchain starts to make it to the mainstream. Let us know what you think about this development in the comments below. In rapid XRP and Ripple news, now we're on coinspeaker.com. Ripple CTO insists the company does not control XRP. Is XRP controlled by Ripple, and is it decentralized after all? Well, fintech expert and crypto enthusiast Konstantin Rabin sheds some light on the ongoing controversy around the world's third largest cryptocurrency. Here's his stance in a nutshell, quote, absolutely not. The XRP ledger is open source technology with a robust community of developers. So if Ripple were to vanish, XRP and the XRP ledger will remain. I guess that's technically true, but I think it would certainly take a hit. If you want to take a look at his opinions and what he elaborated on, including this take about Ripple addressing worries about people's concerns with decentralization, and you can also get Ripple's CTO's David Schwartz's take on why he isn't convinced by IBM partnering with Stellar. In other Ripple news, we're on ethereumworldnews.com here. Ripple late to the party with 12% pump. The second two largest crypto assets, Ethereum and XRP, did not get such a boost and started to fall back quickly. That is until about an hour or so ago at the time of this press release, when XRP finally woke up and started to surge. During today's Asian trading session, the Ripple token surged from about 33 cents to just over 33.7 cents, its highest for 3 months. The move has lifted XRP higher than Tuesday's rally, which saw huge gains for Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. We talked about that yesterday. Daily volume is picking up again and is just over $2 billion. Going back to the article that not the article, but CoinGecko.com rather, that's a little bit out of date now. Ripple sitting at 36.5 cents nearly, so pretty good news for XRP. Now, on top of the momentum that XRP is riding, here's a possible explanation as to why we're seeing this positive price action. The momentum may have been driven by yesterday's announcement that UK-based Rational FX, a money transfer company with over 180,000 registered clients, has partnered with Ripple for international payments. And here is a tweet from @RationalFX. We've partnered with #Ripple to make your money transfers faster, easier, and more secure. Join the thousands of clients currently using Rational FX to manage their international money transfers. That's from the 4th of April, 2019. And that's a pretty convenient segue into this piece on cryptonews.com. Ripple XRP price prediction. Ripple's XRP's stability is getting attractive for governments and financial institutions. In a nutshell here, the technology and the project really provides a smooth, cheaper, faster, and reliable cross-border payment option. We have a couple of price predictions here, which as always ought to be taken with a grain of salt. But considering the above facts, which we kind of glossed over here, but we've covered them more or less, Investing Haven believes that XRP can be as high as $20 by 2019's end, as it has many potentials compared to any other relevant cryptos. That's a ridiculous prediction. I don't even want to bother justifying that with the rest of this article. That is not only a ridiculous prediction, but this site continues to have some of the most poorly written pieces I am seeing on the internet. So conclusion, Ripple's a great cryptocurrency with much potentials. Okay, let's just skip this one, shall we? Another piece on Ethereum World News. Buy Bitcoin, sell Litecoin. Abra CEO begs to differ. Of course, we talked about this surge that came yesterday with Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin, but talking about Bitcoin now, and specifically Bill Bardet, the CEO of Abra. He recently came to Litecoin's rescue in a segment with Cheddar, a media startup. The American entrepreneur, formerly of NASA, I didn't know that, the CIA and Goldman Sachs, explains that whether it be Ethereum, XRP, or otherwise, many other chains are solving problems in their own right with, quote, Litecoin is the perfect case point. Bardet explains that Litecoin's move to integrate Mimblewimble, a privacy solution, and the chain's classification as the, quote, perfect Bitcoin testbed cements its value in the ever-changing ecosystem. We talked yesterday about how Litecoin, since really the 31st of December, January 1st, that kind of time frame, is up about 200%. So you're doing very well if you invested in Litecoin. It's tripled its value. And Charlie Lee thinks that some good things are on the horizon as well. In a recent tweet, the Litecoin creator fought back against LTC bears. Lee, a former Coinbase employee, explains that Litecoin has value, especially when Bitcoin has high transaction fees. In fact, with a platform called Bolts, a cross-chain submarine swap can allow users to send Litecoin to fill up their BTC wallet, this being a use case for the former in and of itself. So Charlie Lee here taking on the haters. Litecoin, a glorified testnet. Bitcoin Lightning Network makes LTC useless. Can't be more wrong. High Bitcoin fees with Bolts.exchange. Just do a cross-chain submarine swap from LTC on-chain to Bitcoin. Send LTC to fill up your BTC wallet. Fast, about 2.5 minutes, and cheap. It's cost pennies in terms of fees. I continue to be a big fan of Litecoin. I like seeing Charlie Lee come to the defense of the project. Obviously, it's his baby, so why wouldn't he? But they've got some pretty good things going for them, and I am continue to be a bag holder, full disclosure. But you know what? I keep picking up Litecoin on the cheap anyway as the prices go down. I'm happy if the price soars. I'm happy if the price decreases because I'm only buying more. So let us know whether or not you agree with that and what you think in the comments below. And finally, also on EthereumWorldNews.com, Bitcoin could surpass Visa, Mastercard, and PayPal in 10 years, according to research. A recently published study by Data Light concluded that during the bearish streak of 2018, where several cryptocurrencies lost more than 90% of their capitalization, the number of transactions increased considerably, revealing that there is not necessarily a correlation between the price of Bitcoin and its acceptance or popularity among traders and users. The study indicates that Bitcoin surpassed Visa in the average amount of transactions. However, Data Light decided to compare the results with other payment service providers such as Mastercard and PayPal. The results were described as, quote, surprising and show a rather optimistic outlook for the future. Here's a quote. In 2018, an average Bitcoin transaction volume was 450 times higher than Visa's average, while the total of $3.4 trillion transferred with Bitcoin in 2018 is 5.8 times higher than that of PayPal. Data Light experts investigated Bitcoin as a payment system and compared it with the economic indicators of Visa, Mastercard, and PayPal provided in their 2018 annual reports. The results are very surprising. And in a nutshell, it shows that as far as the metrics, they show that Bitcoin does win in some areas against the Visas, the Mastercards, and the PayPals of the world. And the potential is there for much more. Bitcoin is many thousands of times ahead of the competition in certain aspects. Its $40,000 is 450 times larger than Visa's. This tells us that Bitcoin's network is more suitable for larger, probably international payments. Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency ever, and its code is still imperfect. However, with all of its imperfections, it is still many hundreds of times faster than the existing wire transfers. Bitcoin's fees are so small that you can transfer millions of dollars for a dozen cents. This is the reason many financial organizations find it so attractive. For more information here, you can see the graphic that's available. Total number of transactions per year. You have Bitcoin versus Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal. Annual change in the number of transactions over capitalization as of the end of 2017, and your final stat, transactions over capitalizations as of the end of 2018. Promising times lie ahead. I am the eternal optimist, and I know many of you out there in the altcoin buzz army will agree with me. I think this is a good way to close it out with this quote. In 10 years, just 10 years, Bitcoin has managed to compete with the leaders of the payment system industry. Bitcoin's development is occurring exponentially. If it maintains this pace in another 10 years, it will surpass all competition. Check out this page for more information. I know we kind of glossed over it here, and I would recommend exploring the report in full. It's very encouraging. And again, it speaks to, not the state of where we are today. There is some discussion of that, but really what's more important is where are we going to be 10 years from now? Given that so many smart minds are lending themselves to the improvement of this system and this infrastructure, I think a decade from now, things are going to be very interesting and much more bigger and expansive than they are today. So with that, everybody, do be sure you're following us on all the regular social media channels. Check into our website, as always, altcoinbuzz.io. Stay tuned. Today, we're going to announce the winners of the Doharis Sir Ether Night giveaway. Check back to our website for an article that'll showcase who those are. If you enjoyed this video, guys, go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell to receive notifications. I wish you only the very best of luck if you choose to invest, but enjoy your Friday, everybody. Have a great start to your weekend, and we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.